really.
Dee, I know you have a lot of stories to tell us, and the people are waiting that. But tell me, how you start? How you started racing?
Well, to be 100% honest with you, I got out of the military and I bought an RX-7. And that RX-7 was twin turbo. And I realized that if I started to do stuff, I would go faster and faster and faster. And until I finally broke it. And but what happened was, I was racing on the street, got caught, got my license taken away, and then I realized that the only place that I could race is at the track.
Yeah, you learned.
I learned. So I went to the track and started racing, and the rest was history, you know, so a little bit of trouble turned out to be a good thing.
So you're happy. Definitely that was a good message. Not exactly the way you wanted, but then you got the message. You turned into a professional driver now with the help of a lot of people. Tell us a little bit about your story. You said you have a year off. That was because of a huge accident you had 1 year ago. Or before that, you have some stories to tell during your professional career. What have you learned about the techniques of the drag racing, the technology we're using today, and how after your wreck, after your accident, you're preparing for a new season? Let's leave that for the end. What's going on next? But let's talk about what happened with you.
Well, we were at the Pan American, the Nationals in ACTO. It was a very huge race, especially for Sport Compact and Sport Compact fans. Everybody knows about the Pan Ams. It was a very big event for us. We were excited. We went there, and unfortunately, in the second round of qualifying, we ran a 745 pass at about 185 miles an hour. And right when I went through the traps, we hit some foil, and I didn't get the chute out in time, and I hit the wall at 185 miles an hour. It was nuts, but
what did you feel in those seconds when the car?
Well, I mean, the very first thing is you'd be amazed. From the time I was 4 years old, to now, my whole life flashed in front of me. I saw everything, and it seemed like it took forever to hit the wall, you know. And you see everything flash in front of you, and then boom, the next minute.
Did you get injured?
Actually, no. Nothing happened to me at all, and you know, I was blessed by God.
Good chassis,
Yeah, that's right. Tito Chassis, best friend and good guy, and the guy who built my chassis is the reason why I'm sitting here today, because the construction of that chassis kept me safe. I got out of the car, and the next day got back to work on it. Absolutely no problems.
What kind of improvements you make to the car after the accident?
Wow, so many. I don't even think we have enough time to list. But basically, we're on a weight savings program. The car was 2,300 pounds, 2,350, which is very heavy for the class that we run. Most of the cars are around 2,000 pounds. So, but we had a very large car. It's a wagon. It's a Mazda P3.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
We like that.
The car is here, and the PRI showing the front. Yeah, and it's right up front on the right-hand side of the lot ever when you leave. You really need to take a look at it.
It's spectacular. I spent like 30 minutes this morning looking at that car, and it's just a tremendous job. We're anxious to see it already work. So, you know, some of the components that we put in to make the car light, carbon fiber wheelie bars instead of using a traditional metal or titanium, you know, like a stainless or titanium. We went with a composite. Carbon fiber brakes, titanium bolts on the bead lock. You know, everything you could think of, everything was analyzed and thought about where can we save weight. And we're probably right around the 2,000-pound mark, so we were able to save 350 pounds by paying attention to detail and analyzing everything and getting it down. Tell us a little bit about horsepower.
Horsepower? Well, we run the Dizzy engine, the Mazda P3 engine, the same engine that came in the car, factory block and factory head. We're not allowed to run billet or anything like that. It has to be Mazda production head and block. So we actually use the normally aspirated MZR cylinder head with the turbo block. It's a 2.3 liter, Arius pistons, GRE aluminum rods, you know, we're making about, on the dyno, about 1,100 to the tires.
What?
Yeah, out of a 4-cylinder. It's amazing, isn't it?
I want to drive one of those.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of fuel that it consumes, we have to run 12 1,600 cc injectors, and after a pass, you're basically 3 gallons of methanol for every pass. It's amazing.
Where do you see the competition will come from next year when you're already in the development process of your new car, which is beautiful. Have you tested? How is it running? And what can you expect for next year?
Well, we're going to test in West Palm in February to actually go down the track. We're going to do some more dyno testing in-house, but we will be on the track in West Palm in February.
With that time in the calendar, everybody has to see that, okay?
The ultimate goal is to be the fastest. The fastest 2-rotor or 4-cylinder right now is about 680 something, and our goal is to be faster than that. We want to be the fastest, and we think we can do it.
Definitely.
Definitely you will. Tell us about your relationship with the guy who's coming next, Tito Chassis.
Tito, I met Tito, so I'll try to make the story quick. Tito, what happened was somebody else was supposed to build my car, and the car sat for a month, and they didn't do anything to it. And I called Tito, and I said, Tito, I got to have a car built in 3.5 months. Mom's is expecting me to show up to the track in 3.5 months. And we had nothing. We had an empty floor, no car. 3.5 months later, I showed up at the track, and we were there. And ever since then, nobody else built any of my cars except for Tito.
He told you it's going to be finished by this day. It is finished, right?
That's the most important part. We have scheduled when we race, and you got to meet him.
Well, that guy we're talking about is next. He's going to be with us right after this break. Remember, we're live in GoRacingTV.com. It's the special live streaming show from the PRI show in Orlando, Florida, thanks to Mazda and Cooper Tire. He is going to stay around because we're going to talk to Tito Chassis, and then both of them are going to join us for our last segment.
They have a good story to tell. Definitely. Yeah,
So
everybody has to know it.
We will be back in a big moment.